Hello and welcome back to my shop. It's been a couple of weeks since I've reported to you on my Intarsia project, and I would like to say that I've been feverishly working on it in those past 2 weeks, but we had Thanksgiving, and I thought, wow, this is great. I've got Thursday and Friday off work, Saturday and Sunday are, the weekend, spend Thursday with the family having Thanksgiving, and I've got 3 days in the shop to really knock this out. And that didn't happen. I got virtually no shop time. The next weekend came. I had a couple of other Christmas projects I was working on. I thought, this is great. Saturday, I'll knock these projects out. Sunday, I'll hit the Intarsia, and I'm good to go. I made a couple of small mistakes and ended up working on the other Christmas projects all day Saturday and all day Sunday. So I've finally been back to working on my Intarsia project. And now that I've gotten back into the shop and back working on the project, I've been spending the last couple of evenings rough shaping the pieces. I have to say that this spindle sander I purchased has been a godsend. I have been able to really knock a lot of the wood off the pieces and get them rough to the shapes that I want. So without wasting any more of your valuable time, let me show you what the project looks like so far. I've been focusing quite a bit of attention on the snow, trying to give it a rounded, somewhat three-dimensional look. You can see how it's starting to kind of flow. Looks like it's going back toward the back of like back over a hill or something. I've been rounding around the snow that hangs off the tree. Still need to do some work in this area, but this is starting to look nice. This is where the owl sets. Snow's sort of dripping off the tree, giving it the look that it's sort of falling or coming towards you. I got a little bit of work to do down in this area here. Clean that up a little bit, clean that up a little bit. But I really like how the snow is starting to take a three-dimensional sort of a look, just kind of flowing and billowing like it might do naturally. There's still quite a bit of work to do, cleanup work, but I'm getting the rough shape of what I want. I've been working really hard on rough shaping the snowman, trying to get him to where he looks like the snowball rounds back and the arms are round. There's going to be a lot of fine tuning on that, but it's starting to look pretty good. You guys might remember this piece here that I had this section that chipped out of. I kept the pattern because I thought I was going to have to recut another piece, and I went and got some aspen out of my pile, and I started to attach the pattern, and I realized, wait a minute, let's take a look at that piece. It's right there. It goes back around his neck. So this piece here needs to taper off really hard, kind of like these sides are over here. So I think if I play my cards right, I might be able to taper that down and save that piece. So that's next up on my list of things to do. So I'm going to get the spindle sander going and see what I can make that piece look like. I was able to make a major save on this piece. See how it curves down, and then I've got the scarf curving down. You might notice some stark lines here. I'm going to put a shim behind the tie to raise it up, kind of like it is in the picture. See how it's very sharp edge, but it's above the snowman, so that shouldn't be a problem there. But really, I think it looks really good. If you can see the side, I've kind of rounded it down a little bit and given it some depth. So get a shot of the other side here. I'm real happy with how the snowman's going. I'm going to keep roughing out parts and just see where I go from here. More progress. I've got the snowman's face done. I've got his hat. Remember how I kind of cut the hat back at an angle a while back? Actually, I didn't cut it. I used the spindle sander and sanded it off to kind of give it the look that the brim was kind of cocked up on his head. I've got the top of the hat kind of rounded, and I've got the little dimple, just like in the photo on there. One of the next things I want to do is I need to glue these two little dimples into the snowman's face, and I'm going to sand them down to the level of his face. So I'm going to glue those tonight, and then I think I'm going to take a little break and get back to this tomorrow. All right, I glued these little dimples into the snowman's face last night, and I had already started sanding on this one today, but I need to sand them down to the same depth as his face so they look like they're part of his face. I want to go ahead, I've got a 60 grit wheel in here. I'm going to go ahead and grind this other one down real quick and show you what that looks like. The 60 grit wheel did a real nice job of knocking it down fast. I don't want to go any farther because I've got the face shaped the way that I want it shaped. So I'm going to drop a 240 grit wheel on here and then clean these up and level them out. Changed over the wheel. Let's do a little cleanup. now the dimples are down even with the surface of his face. They look really good. A little bit of hand sanding to kind of clean some things up, and the face is pretty well done. Here's another quick peek at the overall progress. I am really happy. I've got my snowflakes up there cut. Now all I've got to do is trim the backs off of them so that they sit closer to the backing board. I've got my snow roughed out all along the bottom, around the tree. Got the tree roughed in. The snowman is ready to go. He's looking great. I'm super psyched about how he turned out. All I've got left, got a few more snowflakes over here that, like I said, will shorten those. I've got to start roughing in the owl. I'm going to get him roughed in tonight, and at that point, I think I'm going to stop and start taking a look at fine-tuning what needs to be fine-tuned, just from a whole perspective. But let me back up a little bit here and let you guys get a good look at the overall Intarsia. I am really excited how this is turning out. I was in the process of finishing up the rough sanding today, and I had a small accident. Seems like lately there's been a lot of those. There's an owl in the tree, and that owl has a scarf around his neck, and there is a knot in that scarf. It's a very small piece. I was roughing that piece out, shaping it, and shortening it a little bit because it was 3/4 of an inch tall, and I needed it to be more like 1/4 of an inch tall to fit the project. And it got caught by the spindle sander and thrown across the shop, and I've yet to find it. So one of the things I'm going to do tonight is go ahead and get another piece glued up and get ready to hit the scroll saw and cut that scarf knot out. The last piece I need to work on, or the last couple of pieces, and I'll show you those in a second, is the head of the owl. And it contains the top of his head, his eyes, his beak, and then kind of, I'm going to call it a chin area, but below his beak. What I want to do is I'm going to glue those pieces together, and then I'm going to shape them together because with the exception of the beak, I'll do that separately, the rest of the face has to kind of flow and stay together, almost like an egg. And I'll show you that in a second. This right here is the scarf around the owl's neck, and you can kind of see the knot right there. That's the piece I was referring to earlier in the video that got away from me, and I'm going to have to remake. And you can see the owl. I've got his feet cut out and his lower body's cut out. I'm going to glue the two lower body pieces together, and then with the exception of the beak, I'm going to glue the face together, the head, the eyes, the head, and the chin, and I'm going to get those shaped. And all that's left is to rough shape these, and I'll be ready to start fine-tuning my project. Last but not least, this week I also need to work on this. See the background of the project? I was able to get a piece of 1/4 inch oak ply. That was the thinnest material that I could come up with. And what I'm going to do is cut this semicircle out, and I'm going to throw some stain on it to try to give it a little bit of color. I normally don't like to stain my Intarsia projects. I like to leave the natural color of the wood, but in order to achieve this dark background area, I'm going to go ahead and throw some stain on there, and then I'll attach all of my, or I'll finish it with some poly, and then I'll be able to attach all of my pieces to it to finish the Intarsia. I really hope you've enjoyed seeing the progress that I've made on this Intarsia project as much as I've enjoyed working on it. I couldn't be happier with the way it's turning out. And I look forward to sharing with you in the next couple of weeks the final touches to get this project ready and finished to give to my wife. Thanks for joining me in the shop, and please stay tuned for the next couple of log entries as I finish the project. Everybody have a great day. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them and I will respond. Thank you for watching.